the true aspect of all phenomena. Question. In the Expedient Means chapter of Volume 1 of the Lotus Sutra is the passage, "The true entity of all phenomena can only be understood and shared between Buddhas." This reality consists of the appearance, nature, and their consistency from beginning to end. What does this passage mean? Answer. It means that all beings and their environments in any of the 10 worlds, from hell, at the lowest to Buddhahood at the highest, are, without exception, the manifestations of Myoho Renge Kyo. Where there is an environment, there is life within it. Myo states, both life and its environment always manifest Myoho Renge Kyo. He also states, the true entity is invariably revealed in all phenomena, and all phenomena invariably possess the 10 factors. The 10 factors invariably function within the 10 worlds, and the 10 worlds invariably entail both life and its environment. And, both the life and environment of hell exist within the life of the Buddha. On the other hand, the life and environment of the Buddha do not transcend the lives of common mortals. Such precise explanations leave no room for doubt. Thus, all life in the universe is clearly Myoho Renge Kyo. Even the 2 Buddhas, Shakyamuni and many treasures, are the functions of Myoho Renge Kyo, who appear to bestow its blessings upon humankind. They manifested themselves as the 2 Buddhas and, seated together in the treasure tower, nodded in mutual agreement. No one but Nichiren has ever revealed these teachings. Tintai, Me'alo and Dengyo, knew in their hearts, but did not declare them aloud. There was reason for their silence. The Buddha had not entrusted them with this mission, the time had not yet come, and they had not been the Buddha's disciples from ages past. No one but superior practices, boundless practices and the other leaders of the bodhisattvas of the earth can appear during the first 500 years of the latter day to spread the law of Myoho Renge Kyo. Only they are qualified to inscribe the object of worship, which physically manifests the ceremony of the 2 Buddhas seated together in the treasure tower. This is because both the law and the object of worship are the reality of the 3,000 realms in a single moment of life, as revealed in the lifespan chapter of the essential teaching. The 2 Buddhas, Shakyamuni and many treasures, are merely functions of the true Buddha, while Myoho Renge Kyo actually is the true Buddha. The sutra explains this is the thus come one's secret and his mystic power. The secret refers to the entity of the Buddha's 3 properties and the mystic power to their functions. The entity is the true Buddha and the function, a provisional Buddha. The common mortal is the entity of the 3 properties, or the true Buddha. The Buddha is the function of the 3 properties, or a provisional Buddha. Shakyamuni is thought to have possessed the 3 virtues of sovereign, teacher and parent for the sake of us common mortals, but on the contrary, it is the common mortal who endowed him with the 3 virtues. Tintai explains the thus come one as follows. The thus come one is the title of the Buddhas of the 10 directions and 3 existences, of the 2 Buddhas and the 3 Buddhas, and of all the Buddhas, true and provisional. Here the true Buddha is the common mortal, whereas provisional Buddhas means the Buddha. Nevertheless, there is a clear distinction between a Buddha and a common mortal, in that a common mortal is deluded while a Buddha is enlightened. The common mortal fails to realize that he himself possesses both the entity and the function of the Buddha's 3 properties. All phenomena in this sutra refers to the 10 worlds, and the true entity is what permeates the 10 worlds. Reality is another expression for Myoho Renge Kyo. Hence Myoho Renge Kyo is manifest in all phenomena. Hell appears hellish. That is the reality of hell. When hunger emerges, the reality of hell is no longer present. A Buddha exhibits the reality of a Buddha, and a common mortal, that of a common mortal. All phenomena are themselves manifestations of Myoho Renge Kyo. This is the meaning of all phenomena, reveal the true entity. Tintai states, the profound principle of true entity is the original law of Myoho Renge Kyo, thus identifying the phrase true entity with the theoretical teaching, and the original law of Myoho Renge Kyo with the essential teaching. You should ponder this passage deep in your heart. Although not worthy of the honor, Nichiren was nevertheless the first to spread the mystic law entrusted to Bodhisattva superior practices for propagation in the latter day of the law. Nichiren was also the first to inscribe the object of devotion, which is the embodiment of the Buddha from the remote past, as revealed in the lifespan chapter of the essential teaching, of many treasures Buddha, who appeared when the treasure tower chapter of the theoretical teaching was preached, and the bodhisattvas of the earth who emerged with the emerging from the earth chapter. No matter how people may hate Nichiren, they cannot alter the fact of his enlightenment. To have exiled Nichiren to this remote island is therefore a sin that can never be expiated, even with the passing of countless kalpas. A passage from the simile and parable chapter reads, "Not even a kalpa would be time enough to explain the full gravity of the sin." On the other hand, not even the wisdom of the Buddha can fathom the blessings one will obtain by giving alms to Nichiren and by becoming his disciple. The Medicine King chapter reads, "Not even with the Buddha's wisdom can one measure these benefits." Nichiren alone began to carry out the task of the bodhisattvas of the earth. He may even be one of them. If Nichiren should be a bodhisattva of the earth, then so must his disciples. The teacher of the law chapter states, if there is someone, whether man or woman, who secretly teaches to one person even a single phrase of the Lotus Sutra, let it be known that he is the messenger of the Buddha, sent to carry out the Buddha's work. Who else but us can this possibly refer to? When one is praised highly by others, he feels there is no hardship he cannot bear. Such is the courage which springs from words of praise. The devotee born in the latter day of the law who propagates the Lotus Sutra will encounter the three powerful enemies, who will cause him to be exiled and even sentence him to death. Yet, Shakyamuni Buddha will enfold in his robe of mercy those who nonetheless persevere in propagating. All gods will make them offerings, support them with their shoulders and carry them on their backs. They possess supreme good fortune and qualify as leaders of all humankind. Thus extolled by Shakyamuni Buddha, many treasures Buddha and all of the other Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the 7 ranks of heavenly gods and 5 ranks of earthly gods, the mother demon and her 10 daughters, the 4 heavenly kings, Brahma, Shakra, King Amma, the gods of the waters and winds, the gods of the seas and mountains, the thus come one of Arakana, Bodhisattvas universal worthy and Manjushri and the gods of the sun and the moon. Nichiren has been able to endure countless harsh trials. When praised, one does not consider his personal risk, and when criticized, he can recklessly cause his own ruin. Such is the way of common mortals. No matter what, maintain your faith as a devotee of the Lotus Sutra, and forever exert yourself as Nichiren's disciple. If you are of the same mind as Nichiren, you must be a bodhisattva of the earth. And since you are a bodhisattva of the earth, there is not the slightest doubt that you have been a disciple of the Buddha from the remotest past. The Emerging from the Earth chapter states, I have taught these people since the remotest past. There should be no discrimination among those who propagate the 5 characters of Myoho Ranga Kyo in the latter day of the law, be they men or women. Were they not bodhisattvas of the earth, they could not chant the title of the Lotus Sutra. Only I, Nichiren, at first chanted Nam-myoho Ranga Kyo, but then 2, 3 and 100 followers, chanting and teaching others. Likewise, propagation will unfold this way in the future. Doesn't this signify emerging from the earth? At the time of the worldwide propagation, the entire Japanese nation will chant Nam-myoho Ranga Kyo, as surely as an arrow aimed at the earth cannot miss the target. But now you must build your reputation as a devotee of the Lotus Sutra and devote yourself to it. Shakyamuni Buddha and many treasures Buddha, seated in the treasure tower in the air, surrounded by all other Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, nodded in agreement. What they decided upon was solely for the perpetuation of the true law throughout the latter day. Many treasures Buddha had offered Shakyamuni Buddha a place beside him, and when they unfurled the banner of Myoho Ranga Kyo, the 2 leaders of the entire multitude made their decision together. Could there have been anything false in their decision? Their ultimate purpose in meeting was to provide a way for all of us ordinary people to attain Buddhahood. Although I was not at that ceremony, in looking at the sutra, this is crystal clear. On the other hand, I may have been at this ceremony, but since I am a common mortal, it is beyond my power to know the past. There is no doubt, however, that in the present life I am the devotee of the Lotus Sutra, and that in the future I will therefore reach the seat of enlightenment. Judging the past from this point of view, I must have been at this ceremony in the air. There can be no discontinuity between past, present and future. Because I view things in this way, I feel immeasurable delight, even though I am now in exile. Joy as well as sorrow brings us to tears. Tears express our feeling for both blessings and misfortune. The 1000 Arhats shed tears in memory of the Buddha, and in tears Bodhisattva Manju chanted Myoho Renge Kyo. From among those 1000 Arhats, the Venerable Ananda replied in tears, "Thus I heard." Thereupon, the tears of all the others fell, wetting their inkstones, and they wrote Myoho Renge Kyo, followed by "Thus I heard." I, Nichiren, now feel exactly as they did. I am now in exile because I spread the teaching of Myoho Renge Kyo. I spread this teaching because I, too, heard thus. Shakyamuni Buddha and many treasured Buddha left Myoho Renge Kyo for the Japanese and all people in the future. I cannot hold back my tears when I think of the great persecution confronting me now, or when I think of the joy of attaining Buddhahood in the future. Birds cry, but never shed tears. I, Nichiren, do not cry, but my tears flow ceaselessly. I shed my tears not for worldly affairs, but solely for the sake of the Lotus Sutra. So indeed, they must be tears of Amrita. The Nirvana Sutra states, while the tears one sheds throughout his many existences on the death of his parents, brothers, sisters, wives, children and followers may surpass the quantity of water in all the seas, he weeps not a drop for Buddhism. One becomes a devotee of the Lotus Sutra by virtue of his practice in past existences. It is karmic relationships that determine which among so many of the same kind of trees are made into images of Buddha. It is also because of karma that some Buddhists are born as provisional ones. In this letter, I have written my most important teachings. Grasp their meaning and make them part of your life. Believe in the Gohonzon, the supreme object of worship in the world. Forge strong faith and receive the protection of Shakyamuni, many treasures and all the other Buddhas. Exert yourself in the two ways of practice and study. Without practice and study, there can be no Buddhism. You must not only persevere yourself, you must also teach others. Both practice and study arise from faith. Teach others to the best of your ability, even if only a single sentence or phrase. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. With my deep respect, Nichiren. The 17th day of the 5th month. Postscript. I have already passed on to you many of my important teachings. Those I have revealed to you in this letter are especially important. Is there not a mystic bond between us? Are you not the embodiment of one of the 4 bodhisattvas of the earth headed by superior practices, who led bodhisattvas equal in number to the sands of the 60,000 Ganges rivers? There must be some profound reason for our relationship. I have given you some of the most important teachings, relating to my own life and practice. Nichiren may be one of the countless bodhisattvas of the earth, for I have been chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, out of my desire to guide all the men and women in Japan. Hence the phrase of the sutra. Among the bodhisattvas are 4, who led the entire multitude. The first was called superior practices. These 4 bodhisattvas were the foremost leaders and guiding teachers. Our deep relationship in the past has made you one of my disciples. By all means, keep these matters to yourself. Nichiren is committed to writing the teachings of his own enlightenment. I will end here.